Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Yashodanandana Brajo Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajo Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान. जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान. जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तोत्तर सता हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की, श्री गौर निताई की, श्री राधा वल्लभ की, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुब्रह्मण्य की, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Hare Krishna. So today we have got a special verse to read on, unusual from the usual Bhagavatam routine. We are reading Canto 4 at the moment at the temple, but today I have jumped to Canto 9, chapter 10 and verse number 2, because this is where Sukadeva Goswami talks about the detailed description of the appearance of Lord Ram is given in the Bhagavatam. Canto 9, chapter 10, chapter 11, and a little bit in chapter 12 as well about love and Kush. So I've just picked up one of the verses from that section of the Bhagavatam. So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, chapter 10, text number 2. तस्यापि भगवानेश साक्षात् ब्रह्ममयो हरि अशंसेन चतुर्धागात् पुत्रत्वं प्रार्थितया सुरैः राम लक्ष्मण भारत शत्रुघ्न इति संज्ञया तस्यापि भगवानेश साक्षात् ब्रह्ममयो हरि अंशांशेन चतुर्धागात् Putratvam prarthita surai Rama Lakshmana Bharata Shatrughna iti samnaya Tasyapi Bhagavanesha Sakshat Brahmamayo Hari Amshamsena Chaturdhagat Putratvam Prarthita Surai Rama Lakshmana Bharata Satrughna iti samnaya Mataji's. Tasya, of him, Maharaj Dasrath. Api, also, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Esha, all of them. Sakshat, directly. Brahmamaya, the Supreme Parabrahma, the Absolute Truth. Hare, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Amsha Amshena, by an expansion of the plenary portion. Chaturdha, by fourfold expansions. Agad, accepted. Putratvan, sonhood. Prarthitha, being prayed for. Surai, by the demigods. Rama, Lord Ramchandra. Lakshmana, Lord Lakshman. Bharat, Lord Bharata. Shatrughna, and Lord Shatrughna. Iti, thus. Samnya, by different names. Translations and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being prayed for by the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth Himself, directly appeared with His expansions and expansions of the expansion. Their holy names were Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. These celebrated incarnations thus appeared in four forms as the sons of Maharaj Dasarata. Purport. Lord Ramchandra and his brothers, Lakshman, Bharata, and Shatrughna, are all Vishnu Tattva, not Jiva Tattva. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands into many, many forms. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Although they are one and the same, Vishnu Tattva has many forms and incarnations. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.39, Ramadi Miruteshu Kala Niyamena Tisthan. The Lord is situated in many forms, such as Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. And these forms may exist in any part of His creation. All these forms exist permanently, eternally, as individual personalities of Godhead, and they resemble many candles, all equally powerful. Lord Ramchandra, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, who being Vishnu Tattva, are all equally powerful, became the sons of Maharaj Dasarata in response to prayers by the demigods. Om Jnanati Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashyatya Desa Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So happy Ram Navami to all of us. Today is the auspicious day of the appearance of Lord Sri Ramchandra. So, as I was saying, in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, when the sages of Naimisharanya ask Sutta Goswami about the various incarnations of the Lord, and Sutta Goswami lists the 22 prominent incarnations. And one of those 20, and then of course Sutta Goswami also explains that these 22 are just prominent incarnations of the Lord. The Lord has got unlimited incarnations, avatars, as many waves as there is in the ocean, countless. But he lists the 22 prominent ones. And one of those 22 prominent ones is, of course, Lord Ramchandra that he mentions, And Srila Prabhupada takes the opportunity to detail, or to explain in detail the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra there as well. But more elaborate description about the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra is found in Canto 9 of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, around chapters 10, 11, and 12, like that. And even there, Sukdev Goswami this time tells Maharaj Parikshit that I'm telling you about the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra in brief. That means 3 to 4 chapters, because he says that the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra are very prominent and widely known, so he does not go into detail. But of course we know that the much more elaborate descriptions of all the beauties of, the glories of Lord Ramchandra is found in Ramayana itself. So, the Lord takes many incarnations. And Srila Prabhupada, actually in this verse as well, we see many different technical words are used. Expansions of the expansions, forms, and incarnations. In one passage, we find just so many different jargons, and they have got all technical meanings with subtle differences in them, which we will probably pass it for the later end if we have time. But for now, let's maybe just relish the sweet pastime of the Lord. So, the Lord takes many incarnations, avatar. Incarnation means descending, avatar, from the spiritual realm to the material realm. That particular journey is called avatar, descending. Prabhupada explains in the purport, as we just read, that the Lord has got innumerable forms, expansions and expansions of the expansions, and they are eternal. They eternally exist in the spiritual realm. Time to time, they descend. So the Lord expands in the spiritual world, and the descending is called avatar or incarnation. So when the Lord wants to come down to the material platform, he can take various forms. Sometimes human forms, sometimes subhuman forms, like aquatic life, stone. When the Lord wants to come down as stone and rocks, how does he come down? Govardhan Hill. When the Lord wants to come down as fish, how does he come? Matsya. When the Lord wants to come down as a book, how does he come down? Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. When the Lord wants to come down as a mantra, how does he come down? Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is all Krishna only, just different forms of Krishna. Book incarnation, sound incarnation, stone incarnation, fish incarnation, human incarnations. Amongst the many human incarnation, two of the forms are pretty prominent. And they are, of course, Krishna himself, which again, technically speaking, is not an avatar because he's an avatari, the source of all the incarnation. But in layman terms, we can also call him an incarnation. Excuse me. And then the other very prominent form is Lord Ramchandra. And they are quite, elaborately, documented as well. Of course, our Krishna's pastime, we go to the Bhagavatam, and about Lord Ramchandra's pastimes, we go to the Ramayana. So, then let's continue our journey, in terms of diving a little bit deeper into the episodes of the Ramayana. And yesterday in the Saturday feast class, I kind of started off, on the Ramayana pastimes because it was Ram Navami Eve. And I'll just continue from there. So for some of you who are also present in the Saturday feast lecture, then it will be a little bit of recapping, and then we'll build on to that. Hope it is okay with you. So I was saying yesterday that for all of us, time to time, there are problems in life. And that's just part of life. We get used to it. So Lord Ramchandra, the fundamental question in the Ramayana is there any idealistic character? Is there any Maryada Purushottam? A person, a human being, who is full of all the virtues, characters, attributes, qualities, all top class. And that is when Lord Ramchandra becomes focused. The camera is focusing on him. So in the Ramayana itself is very family-centered, with Maharaj Dasarath and his 3 wives, and then the 4 sons, Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrugna. So it's very family-centered pastime. But yet, the center is Lord Ram, not anybody else, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is glorified. So, because Lord Ramchandra is enacting a role of how a human being should live in good times as well as in times of trials and tribulations. So he shows us, demonstrates to us how to behave, how to react. And therefore, Ramayana also gives us that framework through which we can mold our life when we are going through all these times. So our scriptures are very profound, whether it's Ramayana, Mahabharata, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they are very profound. What generally happens, when we are at a neophyte level, we tend to start or getting intrigued with mapping all the scriptures. How does this scripture fit? How does this fit? There's Vedas and there's Puranas and then Itihasas, and then Bhagavad Gita and then Bhagavatam and all that. So we're trying to put together the jigsaw puzzle, which is beautiful. But more important than that, more important than just mapping the scriptures, it is to mine the scriptures. Personally speaking, I work for a mining company. So, firstly we go and map our area where the minerals could be, whether it's gold, silver, copper, whatever. But that's not enough, not sufficient. More important than that is to dive, or not to dive, I guess to dig deep inside the earth to find those jewels. So mapping is important, but that's just the first step. Mining is more important. As Radhanath Swami says, that let's not complain that there are not pearls in the ocean if you are diving in shallow waters. So, these books are there for us to go deep into it. So, therefore, I'm saying, that Lord Ramchandra, especially when Ramayana is, probably most of you all know some pastimes about Ramayana, especially those who are from Indian-bodied backgrounds. It's very prominent in India. Ramayana is full of emotions, to some extent sadness, tragedy, tears. Because there is separation. There is separation at every step. Because the whole Ramayana mood is based on Vipralamba. Vipralamba means, in the Vipralamba mood, not in the Sambhoga. There is separation right from the beginning till the end. Because that's the highest rasa that the Lord wants to enjoy. But that's another day, subject matter for another day. So separation is very painful, very heart-wrenching. But the Lord shows us, how to deal with those adversities in life. So, Lord Ramchandra's problem also starts at home. And a lot of things change overnight for him. On the eve of him being coronated as the Prime Minister of Ayodhya, as the King of Ayodhya, many things start going topsy-turvy for him. From the mood of jubilation, joy, happiness, bliss, merrymaking, setting up whole of the city for the new king to be coronated. Overnight things change for him. All because of the manipulation of his stepmother. Now the scriptures actually tell us that in this case the stepmother, Mother Kaikeyi, Lord Ram was very dear to Mother Kaikeyi. In fact, it is actually stated that we know that Mother Kaushalya was Lord Ram's biological mother, and Mother Kaikeyi was the stepmother. But the amount of love that Mother Kaikeyi had for Lord Ram surpassed the amount of love that Mother Kaushalya had for Ram. So that's the depth of her love for Lord Ram. But being bewildered and manipulated by her maidservant, Mantra, she also manipulates and takes advantages of some boon that had been given to her. And then asks that the Lord Ram be sent to exile for 14 years. And her son, Bharat, be coronated as the king. So, things go wrong for him. To put ourselves in his shoes, maybe we can just put an example that we can relate to, because most of us are not going to be coronated as king tomorrow. If you are, then congratulations. So, picturize yourself, in the office. Not many of you want to picturize yourself in the office. That's probably also a bad example on a Monday morning in the office. Picturize yourself in the office or in a factory or wherever we work, and you are promised that tomorrow you will be promoted to another level. Let's say a general manager or something like that, or a managerial role or something like that. Big promotion is coming for you overnight. And you come home, with all jubilation and excitement, and you are broadcasting the news to your family, and the kids are joyous. You buy them iPad and whatever. You promise your wife, that you will take her to Dubai and all those big promises you do. And tomorrow morning when we go to office, we are told that you are jobless. You have been made redundant. So that's the swing of the mood, from all bliss to all distress. And this is what Lord Rama has to go through. It's not easy. Now, excuse me, and not only that, we are not only told that we will be jobless, but we have been told to be houseless. Get out of this office and get out of your house. How does that feel now? Because if we have got tons of mortgage on the house and we have lost our job, most likely we will go to some friend's house or some family's house. But the company also tells you that no, we cannot be in this office, neither can you be in your own house. Now to complicate it even more, now we are told that get out of whole of Melbourne as well. So this is the situation that Lord Ram has to go through. Told that you will not be the king tomorrow morning, and you cannot enter anybody else's house in the city, and you have to get out of this city and go and live somewhere in the forest. Now that is pretty tough. That's tough going. We can analyze for ourselves how we will react in that situation when such a sad news, when such a good news turns into such a sad news, which is also very sudden overnight. Our problems, we can generally put it into 3 buckets. And let's see how Lord Ram's problem fits into these buckets. One kind of problem that we face are those that we face regularly, and then we get used to it. For example, backache. Can't sit without disabled parking. Or the bad boss in the office. Just tolerate him. Or some financial issues, that is ongoing. We know that our wealth is not sufficient, to put bread and butter on the table. Something like that. And we get used to it. Life goes on. The second bucket of problems, the second category of problems are those that we don't expect, and it happens all of a sudden. And then we have to kind of dynamically reorientate ourselves to adjust to the situation. Yesterday I gave this example. If you are driving on a road, on a freeway in Australia, at 100 kilometers per hour, and all of a sudden you find a big pothole. Now, that's something not expected, in a country like this, especially on a freeway, big pothole. Some other countries, okay, but not so used to in Melbourne. So then if there is a pothole, or some disaster on the road, then you have to be dynamic and readjust yourself and keep driving somehow or the other, So that's unexpected problem. So first bucket was the expected problems. The second bucket is the unexpected problem. Now, Lord Ram's situation is neither of these 2 categories. He is in a third category, which we also sometimes time to time face. What is that? The situation of when we are expecting jubilation and something disastrous happen. For example, we meet our, let's say, after a long time we meet one of our closest friends. We bump into him, whom we had known for years, and we used to be good playmates. And kind of, we got distant because of geographical relocations, whatever. But after a long time, we meet again. Now, what do you expect? The old memories will come to mind, correct? And you probably expect your friend to give you a hug or something. And you are excited because you are seeing him or her after a very, very long time. And then the friend walks up to you and gives us a big slap. Totally opposite. From an expectation of jubilation, to a good smack. Now again, this is what Lord Ram has to go through. From the expectation of being a king to the expectation of being told to go out of here. So that's his situation. Now, how will we react? All of us will have different reactions. Most likely, in this kind of situations, we'll be pretty annoyed, sad, and go and researching or investigating, interrogating, why did it happen to me? When we come regularly to the temple, we become quite experts in teaching about science of self-realization. Why do bad things happen to good people? Now we have mastered that PowerPoint slide when we preach in Bhaktivedanta and all that. Why do bad things happen to good people? But the challenge is when bad things happen to good people. Then we are stunned, how did this happen to me? I was quite decent person. He was pretty decent devotee. Why did it happen to him? So theoretically, theoretical understanding is easy, but the pragmatic approach is not so easy. When did bad things happen to people? So we all have different approaches to reactions in such situations. So let's analyze how does Lord Ram react. And there are some beautiful lessons to be learnt. Tough, but pretty useful. So firstly, what he does, he tries to put the situations in such a way that he is cognizant, that everybody in Ayodhya at the moment is distressed. Again, back to our example, we have lost our job. Everybody is distressed, including us, our families, our friends, our colleagues, maybe not colleagues, depends. Some people are distressed, like that. So, he knows that the whole city is at the moment distressed. So how to deal with this? And let's remember who Lord Ram is, In Tattva, he is of course the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in Leela, he is at the moment seen as the leader, the heir to the throne. So people are looking up to him for guidance. How does he react? And of course they'll follow suit. That's what leader does. Inspires the praja, the civilians. So he tries to become the minimizer of everybody's distress. That's the role he takes. That's the role he plays. And that's the leader's role. To become the minimizer of everybody's distress. Rather than the maximizer of everybody's distress. A devotee is para dukha dukhi. Not para sukha dukhi. Sometimes that also happens. We get jealous by seeing others' happiness. That's para sukha dukhi. Devotees are compassionate. That's why the Lord here is showing us how to be compassionate. So he becomes the distress minimizer. How does he do that? Firstly, he analyzes the situation for himself and puts himself into a particular framework, and then he goes and talks to others. So first thing he does, and this is the little bit of recap from yesterday, so sorry for the repetition for those who came yesterday as well. Firstly, he trivializes the problem. This is a big problem at the moment in Ayodhya, but he tries to trivialize it, to say that this is not even a problem. If anything, actually, he turns the problem into a blessing. To say, so when Mother Keke finally tells him that these are the things that I have asked your father, and therefore now you have to follow his instruction, and the things that I have asked for is that you go to the forest for exile for 14 years, and my son Bharat will be coronated as the king tomorrow, or not tomorrow morning, in future, whenever he returns. And it took a while for this message to reach Lord Ram, because of course Dasarat Maharaj was not going to tell Lord Ram, because he could not utter such heavy words, heavy instructions. And nobody wanted to tell him. So when finally he got to know that what is the situation, what is expected of him, he is very, very sober. And he says that actually this is not a problem. I am not aware why it took so long and so much of hesitation for this instruction to be given to me. Because to me, this is not a problem. This is actually a blessing. Why is it a blessing? On 4 fronts. Firstly, I get to follow the instruction of my father, and that is the duty of a son, to follow the instructions of the father. So I get to fulfill that. That's a blessing to me. Secondly, I get to fulfill the wish of my mother, that my stepmother wants me to go to forest and my younger brother to be coronated as the king. So that's a blessing. I get to fulfill the desire of my mother. And what a golden opportunity for me and golden fortune for me to be able to fulfill the desire of my mother. Thirdly, my younger brother gets appointed as the king of Ayodhya. What a beautiful sight, when my own brother is sitting as the king. That's a blessing to me. And fourthly, when I go to the forest, I get to associate with all the sadhus. Sadhu Sangha. That's also a blessing. So how can this be a problem? Now put ourselves in it. Generally, again, as I said, when we go through problems, starts with why did it happen to me? How did it happen to me? Why, who did this to me? So trying to find that subject whom we can put some blame on, rather than soaking it in to take it as a blessing. Tattenu kampam susamikshamano. Bhagavatam teaches us that take all the troubles as the blessings from the Lord, and see the positivity in it rather than the negative aspect. So Lord Ram trivializes it. And then of course he goes and talks to the other prominent people, including the society, the civilians, and calms him down. So let's also look at from Mother KK's point of view, because there is lessons to be learned there as well in terms of her actions. Mother KK, as I said before, that her love for Lord Ram surpassed the love that Mother Kaushalya had for Lord Ram. So how did this happen? How could she ask for such a heavy execution of instructions to be given to Lord Ram? In Vedic times, the punishments, the most severe punishment, and Lord Ram gets the second most severe punishment. That level of punishment is given to him. So in Vedic times, the most severe punishment was the capital punishment, killing somebody for their offenses. The second most severe punishment was exiling somebody into the forest. And that is what is given to Lord Ram for a crime that he has not committed. No fault of his. And this is because of the manipulation of his stepmother. Now, Mother KK makes two fundamental mistakes upon which we can draw lessons. First, she listens to somebody very attentively, which is good, because we are told many times in our lectures that we should have submissive hearing. Submissive hearing is very important for our advancing in Krishna consciousness. But the submissive hearing has to be from the right source, not any Tom, Dick and Harry. So Mother KK here listens to mantra very submissively, but she is the wrong source to be heard from, because she has got some ulterior motives, some hidden agenda. So in our lives, when we are listening, when we are hearing, when we are associating, we have to be careful that it is the right source. There is a power in association, both ways. Positive power in positive association, and very, very negative, unfavorable influence in bad association. So association is important, but it should be with the right source. That's why devotees generally try to avoid the materialistic and associate as much as possible with the devotees, because we get lifted and enlivened with Krishna Katha and Ram Katha. So first mistake she made, that she listened to the wrong source. Second mistake that she makes is that, notwithstanding she had subjugated herself to the manipulation of Mother KK, she does not go and consult anybody. Had she gone and consulted some seniors in the city, especially the Kul Guru, or some other senior personalities in the Parliament House, surely they would have corrected her to say, you know what you are into, because this is disaster happening. Not just for you, not just for the city, but including you. You will repent and regret tremendously in the future. So check yourself. So in our lives, second lesson learned, when our mind is bewildering us, and it will, and it does, that's called mantra. When the mind gets chained, man is mind. When the mind gets chained into something that is unfavorable, before we dive into it, we should double check and consult some senior authorities, some devotees, some senior devotees for guidance, so that we can be rectified in our thought process. There is a saying that everything good that we think of should be done immediately, and everything bad that we think of should be procrastinated for tomorrow. Kal karenge. But generally, can be other way around as well. We jump into the bad things and delay the good things. So, after that, of course, Lord Ram goes to the forest in exilement. Lakshman and Mother Sita also follow him. The rest of the Ayodhya is in Vipralamba Bhava, in separation and suffering, so-called suffering. So, it's very tragic from an ordinary point of view. So then let's analyze, and this is a typical question that gets asked whenever, Ram Katha goes on, generally centered on Mother Sita, for the atrocities that she had to go through. Firstly, she was the potential prince of the city, but then she has to live in the forest, walking the thorny path that she was not used to. Very, very fragile and gentle lady, but chaste lady, because purely devoted to the service of the husband. So she accompanies them. And then, of course, we know she gets kidnapped by Ravana. And then when she comes back, then she's again abandoned by the Lord under the shelter of Valmiki Muni, like that. So she goes through a lot of atrocities in her life. Now she is Mother Sita. Now Prabhupada writes in the paper that these are all supreme personalities of Godhead. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan, Mother Sita, these are all Vishnu Tattvas. All supreme personalities of Godhead. And Shakti, Mother Sita is Shakti Tattva. So then why would they be suffering? So let's digress a little bit to Bhagavatam and then we'll come back to Ramayana. In the Bhagavatam, this is quite elaborately explained, why people suffer. And this happens in the context of Pitama Bhishma, about to leave his body. He is on the deathbed of the arrows and about to leave his body. He's waiting for Lord Krishna to come and give him darshan before he decides to leave because he had the boon to leave his body whenever he so desired. Like that. So when the Pandavas, after being victorious in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and been coronated as the king again, so there's some similarities about being coronation of the king. Yudhishthira Maharaj gets appointed as the king of Hastinapur. So when they walk to the battlefield of Kurukshetra, post-mortem, Maharaj, Pitama Bhishma is lying on the bed of arrows. So when Pitama Bhishma sees these Pandavas coming and approaching him, he recalls the atrocities that they also had to go through. Because Pandavas suffered a lot. So that's another question in our mind. Park it for now. Why did the Pandavas suffer? Because they are pure devotees of the Lord. And we are told that when we become pure devotees of the Lord, then we will be happy. Chant and be happy. But here are the episodes of, very, very pure devotees. Mother Sita, Lakshman, in one sense not pure devotees because they are Vishnu Tattvas. But the Pandavas, Prahlad Maharaj, going through severe sufferings, sufferings from our ordinary viewpoint in their life. So what is the guarantee that we will chant and be happy? When there are these examples out there. So how do we reconcile all this? So Pitama Bhishma, being one of the Mahajans, explains this to us. So when the Pandavas approach him, he firstly recalls that, actually, it's like a metaphorical statement, that you all don't deserve to live for the amount of suffering that has been, injustice that has been given to you. You actually don't deserve to live. How on earth did you survive such severe punishments in your life? It's like surprising. It's more on a compassionate ground rather than saying you should have been dead. Yeah, that's not the takeaway point. How did you survive? And then he speaks, rhetorical question and answers. Yeah, he speaks, Bhishma Pitama, to say that you only survived because of Vipra, Achyuta and Dharma. Three things protected you. Or let me rephrase. You took shelter of these three things. That's why you are alive and happy. Vipra, Achyuta and Dharma. Vipra, the sadhus. Achyuta, Krishna. And Dharma, the Shastras. So Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. You took shelter of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra in all your trials and tribulations and you came out victorious. So lessons for us again. When we are going through tough times, and we do, then there is Guru, Sadhu and Shastra for directions. And then Bhishma Pitama continues to say that it doesn't make sense for you to have suffered. You survived the suffering, fair enough, because you took the shelter of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. But how did the suffering come to you in the first place? Because suffering is caused because of our karmic reactions. So there are three reasons for suffering. Let's analyze the first one for now. We are suffering because of our karmic reactions. So did you suffer, Pandavas, because of your karmic reactions? And he says, no, can't be, not possible. Two reasons why it's not possible. Two sub-reasons. One, that you are pure devotees of the Lord. So how can you have done something bad? You could not have done bad karma. And part B of that, you are always with Lord Krishna. So how can impurities even touch you? So not possible. Cannot be your karmic reaction. So why did you suffer? Then he says that sarva kala kritam manne. Sarva kala kritam manne. You must be suffering because of time. Time, not as a prarabdha and aprarabdha, not as the reserved and in the present suffering, but time in the form of Krishna, because Krishna says kalosami, I am time. Interestingly, Krishna does not say time is my energy. Krishna says I am time. So therefore, when Krishna wants to incarnate as time, then there is time. Just as he wants to incarnate as books, there is Bhagavatam. So like that. So I am time. So you are suffering because of time. So in other words, you are suffering because of the will of the Lord given to you through the purview of time. So you are suffering because of the will of the Lord. So for those of us who are not still hungry, then you may have started thinking through. Why on earth the Lord will want his pure devotees to suffer? What kind of Lord, what kind of Supreme Father is he? If he wants his pure devotees to suffer, or if he wants anybody to suffer, especially his pure devotees, that also doesn't make sense. It's a natural question, yeah? Yes, no? Yes, okay. I'm just checking, whether I am gelling with you. I have to resonate because I know it's fasting day and it's 9 o'clock. So, it says because of time, because of the will of the Lord. So, first cause of suffering is karma, as I said, and that does not apply to the Pandavas. The second cause of suffering is because of the will of the Lord. That applies to the Pandavas. And there's a third reason as well, which applies to us. And I'll come there in a minute. If I forget, remind me. Yeah. So the second reason, let's analyze the will of the Lord. So why? And this is applicable to the Ramayana and all the devotees, pure devotees that go through suffering. It is the will of the Lord because the Lord wants to use the pure devotees as a nimitta matram, as an instrument through which he can preach to the rest of us. The Lord wants to use the pure devotees as an instrument to show how to react or how to deal with, when problems comes in life. So that's why when we see, a lot of pure devotees go through massive sufferings from an ordinary point of view, because for them it's not a suffering, but we think they are suffering. So they are put through this. And I generally give this example. When a movie maker wants to make a movie that has to be a blockbuster, he will pick his choicest of characters. Somebody who will be there till the end to make the movie hit. And generally 3 people are required for the movie: a hero, a heroine, and a villain. So here, the villain that is picked is also the best of the actors. And he has to enact the pastime of the villain. Because if you give it to some ordinary actors, they will probably run away halfway to the movie. Unsuccessful movie. So you have to have somebody who is bring it own kind of character. So when the Lord comes down, talking about Navami, he is also descending avatar because of particular pastimes that he wants to play. And amongst all the reasons why Lord takes incarnation, the most prominent one is to attract us back to Godhead. Paritranaya sadhunam, all that is they are fine, to save the devotees, to annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the principles of religion. That we know. But above all this, Sutta Goswami tells us in Bhagavatam, Canto 1, beginning chapters, that it is to attract us back to Godhead. So the Lord Ram is also coming to attract us. Lord Ram descends so that we can ascend. Put it this way. So, for him to attract us, he has to enact all these pastimes which are sometimes very sad, sometimes very happy, sometimes very, in a mixed mood. So that, because as human beings, we go through all this in our journey. And we can put ourselves as to how they behave so that we can mold our life accordingly. So then, if you look at this from a tattva point of view, from a philosophical point of view, that the pure devotees go through suffering so that they can demonstrate to us how to deal with it when we go through the same suffering in our life. That's why Mother Sita has to play that role of being a suffering lady, so that in this case everybody, or mainly the ladies, can also learn what is their duty in times of tough times. Srila Prabhupada gives a brilliant analogy in his paper to this section of Bhagavatam when he talks about that the Lord uses his pure devotees as instruments to preach to others. He says that in Indian times, the mother-in-law would teach the daughter-in-law through the daughter. The mother-in-law. The mother-in-law would teach the daughter-in-law using... Auntie is shaking, nodding her head. I'm sure he can relate to it. True, no? Yeah. So the mother-in-law will teach the daughter-in-law using the daughter. So now if she has to teach something to the daughter-in-law, she will not directly correct her. So she will say to her own daughter, daughter, don't be so muchi or something like that, Go and take bath. That means she's telling the daughter-in-law, go and take bath like that. So indirectly. So the Lord is preaching to us using his pure devotees as the nimitta matram. Now with this tattva, if you look at the people who, the famous pure devotees, that comes to the prominent pure devotees that come to mind that are suffering, then you actually see how do they deal with that. Pick one. Prahlad Maharaj. We think that he is suffering through so many of atrocities. But for him, there is no suffering. He just jumps or gets pushed from the mountain, or he's thrown into the fire or in the boiling oil or something. For him, it's just no big deal. And who else can do that kind of role apart from Prahlad Maharaj? Mother Sita, going to the forest with the husband for 14 years and being abducted. Who can play that role? If it was somebody else, not if it was somebody else, it could also have been if it was some other actors, they probably would have just been happily living in Lanka compared to Chitrakoot, because, Lanka was also made of gold. So who could, not be so attracted to the opulence of Lanka and still be devoted to the husband who may or may not never come because she didn't know where Lord Ram is. So this kind of solid characters are required to enact this pastime, which is Mother Sita, Lakshman, the Pandavas. Who else would have continued to be with Lord Krishna in fulfilling his pastimes apart from the Pandavas? Who else could have suffered so much? Not apart from pure devotees, put it this way. Apart from pure devotees, nobody else can. The neophytes will run away to say, bas ho gaya. I'm better off in Albert Park rather than at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This is too heavy duty. So they'll run away. So the Lord chooses or picks his choicest of characters for the enactment of his pastime. So two reasons why people suffer. One is the karmic reaction. The other is the will of the Lord. And there's a third bucket, which is the middle bucket, which is generally where the neophytes fit in. It's a combination of karmic reaction and the will of the Lord. Karmic reaction because some prarabdha and aprarabdha is coming to us for the sinful actions that we may have committed in our time, past lives, these lives. And also the will of the Lord. So why does the Lord make us suffer, the neophyte devotees? It can't be to show to others how to react in times of difficulties. It can't be that. So why does he make us suffer? What do you think? To purify us. Okay, that's Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can also do that without us being suffering. True, but that's probably the secondary reason. Primary reason? Testing. Yeah. Testing. Secondary reason,
Suffering in life will help us take shelter.
Excellent. This is coming from a person who has already done Bhaktivedanta. To attract us again, because when we go through sufferings, then only, we realize that if we are all hunky-dory in this material world, in our one-bedroom apartment in Middle Park, then what's the point in going back to Godhead? No? After all, this is a nice house, nice air conditioning, by the beach, good friends, mobile phone, good job. If nothing, then Uber is there. You can drive Uber. Why do you have to go back to Godhead, Life is just dream, and we just happily live here ever after. What's that poem, Merrily, merrily, how does it start? Huh? Merrily, merrily, merrily. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. So dream, we can dream in Melbourne. Merrily we can dream. Gently down the beach rather than the stream. Big beach here. Why go back to Godhead? So, in life, only when we go through tough times, which can be the will of the Lord, then we start thinking, maybe this is not a place for gentlemen. Prabhupada says that material world is not a place for a gentleman. This is not our place. But if we get too comfortable, then what's the point? So as neophyte level, our sufferings can be for two reasons. One, our karmic reactions, which Krishna actually minimizes, thank God. And secondly, also because it is for the Lord to inspire us, or to make us rethink about the purpose of life and get out of here, get out of material world. There's a lot to say on Ram Katha, but it's 9:20. Today is not feasting until evening. No, not till 10. Okay, maybe one more pastime and I'll take some questions. Is that okay? Just one more episode from the Ramayana. I've got few, but I'll just choose one. Let me see. Okay, let's go to Lanka then, and then we'll stop there. Fast forward to Lanka. So, we know, when Mother Sita was abducted by Ravana, and she was kidnapped and taken to Lanka, and kept under the Ashok Vatika. Ashok means where there is no shok. Shok means distress. Ashok means no distress, just like Vaikuntha, kind of. So she was put under the Ashok Vatika, means a garden, so that's where she was kept. Ravan thought that Mother Sita will easily accept the proposal of Mother Sita becoming the prince of Lanka, but to his surprise, Mother Sita rejected all the opulence. A lot of times you will see this actually. Pure devotees rejecting opulence, unnecessarily opulence they will not take, unless it is beneficial for Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada would accept all the money because he would build, temples with it, but not for sense enjoyment. Maharaj Bharat, again going back to the Ramayana pastime, similar. He rejected the Ayodhya kingdom given to him and said, this is the true property of Lord Ram. Bhokta Ram Yagna Tapasam, the true proprietor of all the property is Lord Ram, not me. So give it to Lord Ram. But of course, then he became the caretaker prime minister for some time, for 14 years. So again, he rejected the wealth. But when it was given back to him by Lord Ram to say, now you become the caretaker government, then he accepted it. But for the pleasure of the Lord. He ruled it for the pleasure of the Lord, rather than for his own pleasures. So like that. So it is not wrong to have... it is not wrong to possess wealth. But it is wrong to be possessed by wealth. Possess wealth for the benefit of Krishna consciousness is fine. But to be possessed by wealth, which means I just want money, money is sweeter than honey, then that's when the attachment comes. So Mother Sita was not attached to the opulence of Lanka at all, nor to the brilliance of Ravan's strength, because he was also very powerful. Nothing attracted her, but only Lord Ram. So she remained dedicated to Lord Ram, devoted. So then we know Hanumanji. In every, as I said, if you want to create a movie, then there has to be a superhero. Of course, this is Lord Ram here. But Hanumanji also takes a very prominent role in Ramayana. Because Lord Ram is Bhakta Vatsala. He always wants to give credit to his devotees. Just as Krishna wants to give the glories to Arjuna for killing the Kauravas, similarly Lord Ram gives the glories to Hanumanji for many things. Of course, Lord Ram himself kills Ravana, but Hanumanji is very, very prominently, depicted in the Ramayana. So he jumps over the Indian Ocean and reaches Lanka in search of Mother Sita. Now, a lot of times people ask this question, when Ram Katha goes on, to say, if Lord Ram was God, which is a wrong question to start with, because it is not if Lord Ram was God, it is given Lord Ram was God. That's how devotees would speak, because we know he's God. But anyway, go back to the non-devotees. They will say, if Lord Ram was God, then why did he search all these people to the various sides of India to search for Mother Sita? Some went to the north, west, east, south. And from that particular point only, they will say that, Ramayana is mythology. They'll just pick one context, not even a context. They will take one text and put it out of context. And then declare that this is mythology. This is called, the Prabhupada would call them rascals. Maya Adhakshena, no, not Maya Adhakshena, the 4 types of people who surrender unto me. Chaturvida Vajante Mam, Namam Duskritano Mudha. Maya, how does the last name? Maya Apartha Jnana. No, Jnana. Their knowledge has been taken away by illusion, Maya. So these are the intellectuals, the scientists, whose knowledge has been taken away by the illusory energy of the Lord. So they think they are intelligent, but only chemicals inside. So then they will say that this is mythology. Because how can it go? Now what they will not see, so this is what I'm saying, we have to put text into a context. Yeah. So if you look at the context, there are 4 parties who are going to the 4 directions in search for Mother Sita. But Lord Ram gives his ring to Hanuman, who is heading towards the south. And nobody else gets anything. Why does he get ring? You know that, right? Okay, let me explain. Lord Ram gives Hanumanji the ring because when he knows when Hanumanji reaches Lanka, Mother Sita may doubt him. Like, what is the proof that you have actually come from Lord Ram? What if you are not one of the spies of Ravan? So what's the proof? And Lord Ram said, when Mother Sita, if she doubts you, then show her this ring, because this is our wedding ring. And she will immediately recognize the wedding ring. And tell her that this is from Lord Ram. Like that. So of the 4 parties coming, only one gets an evidence, if you like, that could be showed to Mother Sita. And that is Hanumanji. So why only Hanumanji got the ring? Like that. Because Lord Ram is Lord. He knows where Mother Sita is. So he chooses Hanumanji for this particular task. Anyway, my point was, fast forward to Lanka now, that lessons for us, right? This is the lesson learned. And that's probably the last one for today. When Hanumanji is searching for Mother Sita in Lanka, he goes through all corners of Lanka, and initially he's unsuccessful to find her. And he destroys a lot of things and all those things. That's why he's Hanuman, Superman, like that. We are all get attracted to, Harry Potter and, Superman and Spider-Man, and this is Hanuman, like that, Nowadays there's Harry Potter, because people like this kind of thing. Why? Because it's intuitive to us, The soul is desiring for this kind of pastimes. But because we have gone away from the scriptures, these beautiful pastimes, enacted by the Lord is remote to us now. Therefore, we tend to Hariputta and all that, those kind of books. So, when Hanumanji is searching for Mother Sita in Lanka, he's unsuccessful. His endeavor is unsuccessful initially. And then he does something fascinating, which is important for us. Rather than searching for Mother Sita, he sits down and prays that, oh my mother, please reveal yourself to me where you are. Very, very important. Rather than searching for her everywhere, unsuccessfully, he sits down and meditates. Oh my dear mother, please reveal to me where you are. Krishna tells us that Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. You can know me only with love, with bhakti, with devotion, by no other means. So we cannot search for God. That is not possible for mankind. Because he is infinite and we are finite. An infinite cannot find the finite cannot find the infinite, not possible. The finite can only find the infinite if the infinite blesses the finite. the Damodar Leela pastimes, we know that there is mercy and endeavor. Endeavor and mercy. We have to make our endeavor. The Lord will show His mercy if we are sincerely endeavoring. So because Hanumanji was sincerely endeavoring, and then when he prayed to Mother Sita to say, please reveal to me where you are, Mother Sita gives him direction to find her where she was. So the Lord reveals Himself to us. Bhakti is a process of revelation, not a process of studying. We cannot approach Him through studying the scriptures. Prabhupada quotes that verses in this particular paper, Advaitam achyutam anadim ananta rupam adhyam purano purusham navayovanam cha vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktav govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham bhaktav. What does that mean? That the Lord is advaitam achyutam anadim ananta rupam. He has got unlimited forms, which is what we just read in this verse as well. Unlimited incarnations, unlimited forms. How do we know Him? Notwithstanding all that, is Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, Adhyam Purano, He is the oldest. Purusham, He is the form. Navayovanam cha. Although He is the oldest, He is always Navayovanam. He is always youth. That is His potency. So how do we know Him? Vedeshu Durlabham. If you want to approach Him through studying the Vedas, it is Durlabham. It is not possible. You cannot search for Mother Sita like that. But it is possible how? Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktav. It is adurlabham. It is not difficult at all through bhaktav, through bhakti. The devotees find Lord very easily through their devotion. So, on this auspicious occasion of Ram Navami, the advent of Lord Ram into Ayodhya in Treta Yuga, as I said, He descends so that we can ascend. Let's take this opportunity to deeply meditate on the purpose of our life, even for devotees. Because sometimes in our Krishna consciousness journey, we can become quite mechanical. Morning we come to the temple, evening we go home. Nice prasadam, feast, little chanting, 16 rounds. So it can become very mechanical. So it's always good to, introspect and refresh. Why are we doing this? And today is a very good day, because if we show our sincerity and our endeavor to the Lord, He may bestow us mercy to reveal Himself to us to some extent. So when we are chanting today, chant with the meditation, that, oh my Lord, please reveal yourself to me. Oh Mother Sita, please reveal yourself to me. I'm struggling. I have problems. But you showed us how to deal with problems in life. Mother Sita, you told us how to be devoted to the Lord. Hanumanji, you told us, you taught us how to be the best servant of the Lord. So please engage me in your devotional service is the prayer for the rest of today and for the rest of eternity. With that, I'll stop here because it's 9:30. And maybe, any questions or comments? We can probably go for 5 more minutes. Sukdev Prabhu, 5-10 minutes, yeah? Any questions or comments? There is no Mahaprasade today, so until 5 o'clock, yes, Pritlakshan Bhaji.
But you mentioned that Krishna says He is time. He doesn't say time is energy. Can you please explain the difference between the two? If time was His energy and not He Himself time, then what would be the implications and how would it be?
Yeah, in one sense, there is no technical difference. But when He says He is time, that means that time is Krishna. So when we are, from a practical application point of view, when we are chanting, for example, 7 rounds, 7 minutes we are chanting 1 round. So we are associating with Krishna in all the different forms now. Now with the sound vibration, which is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And that's why, in one sense, that we don't have to worry about anything else when we are chanting. A picture of Krishna, or a deity of Krishna, or some other things. Doesn't matter, because we are with Krishna in all the ways. Time is Krishna, so that we are dedicated to Krishna fully now, and we are chanting His name. So nothing else is required. So He is present there in time. Time has got a devastating effect in the material world. With time, everything perishes, and that's Krishna's. In that sense, that's Krishna's energy now. To perish everything in the material. That's the role of time in the material world. In the spiritual world, the time enhances Krishna's pastime. There is time in the spiritual world, but it's conspicuous because it has got the role of enacting and enhancing Krishna's pastime. So if Krishna is, happily playing in the forest with the gopis and the gopas, then there is no, 4 o'clock, oh my God, we have to go home now, like us, in the office, and 5 o'clock, we want to go home or like that. No, it will stop. It can stop. It will do whatever Krishna desires.
But isn't that what the internal energy of the Lord does there? Here the material energy covers us, here the spiritual energy enhances the Lord's pastime.
Yeah.
So how is it time doing it then?
There.
Yeah.
How is it? Spiritual energy works in a spiritual way there, no? Rather than working in a material way here. As I was saying, the time here destroys things, the time there enhances things. How it happens technically, I don't know. I'll probably have to go and check one day. Hopefully. I don't know how it technically happens. Anybody else wants to comment on that? How does it actually happen? No. Let's come back to Ram Katha today. Anything else? Thanks for that question. Anything else? Yes, Madhuri.
I was thinking about the time in material world will affect every person differently depending on the gunas. Time is very much connected to the gunas. For example, a person in mode of ignorance, he will not live long. He will, apart from being sick. Depending on what guna we are in, that depends how long we will live and where we will live. So, for example, that's why it says, we have that verse, by every sunrise and sunset, one's duration of life is shortened, except for the one who hears the messages of Vasudeva. Those who are in, also says in Bhagavad Gita, those who are in mode of goodness, their life is long. There are many connections with the time and the gunas. It's very important, and because spiritual world is Shuddha Sattva, we don't have the effect of the time as we have it here. Time is very much connected to the gunas.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Nice points. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
One question that is asked a lot when you speak about Lord Ram to non-devotees is why Lord Ram left Madhavananda. What's the explanation? How would you justify?
Okay. So the question is, that this is a prominent question Prabhu is saying that, why does, when we talk about Ram Katha, why did Lord Ram abandon Mother Sita? You're talking about when she was sent to Valmiki Muni, yeah? That particular episode? So why did Lord Ram abandon Mother Sita when she was also pregnant at that point in time? 2 reasons. One from a Tattva point of view and the other from a Leela point of view. From a Tattva point of view, Tattva means truth, yeah? So the reality point of view, which is the underlying reason, and then there is a more external point, internal and external reasons, put it this way now. So the internal reason is that the Ramayana, as I said, is enacted on the bhava of Vipralamba, which is the highest rasa. There is joy in separation. In Hindi there is a saying, I'll explain that in English as well. Jo maza intezar mein hai, wo mil jaane par nahi. The joy that is there in waiting is not so much when we actually meet somebody. There is a joy in waiting, anticipation, heightened up. So like that. So that's Vipralamba Bhava. The highest rasa is Madhurya Lila. All the 5 rasas, the Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya, they can be enjoyed in Vipralamba or in Sambhoga, both. So because Madhurya Lila is the highest, Madhurya in Vipralamba therefore is the highest, not the Madhurya in Sambhoga. Okay, little technical, not for today. That's Bhakti Bible later. But just enough for today, okay, for that much. So if you understand that concept, that Vipralamba is the highest mellow that the Lord can enjoy, therefore whole of Ramayana is based on separation. There is a joy in them in separating. Okay, Tattva point of view. From a Leela point of view, Lord Ram is again showing to us when we are caught between 2 dharmas. If one has to win, which one is the choice? And every time we go through in our life, Arjun went through his life, he was also caught with 2 dharmas. The Kula dharma, which required him to protect his family, the Kauravas, and the Kshatriya dharma, which required him to kill the enemies. So caught with the 2 dharmas. It's called Dharam Sankat. Kula Dharma says protect them, Kshatriya Dharma says kill them. What to do? Krishna says what? Sarva Dharman Parityaja. You forget Kula Dharma, you forget Kshatriya Dharma. Just come to me and I'll tell you what to do. So when he fought under the instructions of Krishna, then it is neither Kula Dharma nor Kshatriya Dharma. It is Bhagavad Dharma. It is devotional service, rather than on the platform of Varna Ashrama Dharma, like that. Yeah. So now, Lord Ram is also caught with two dharma. One is called Raja Dharma, the duty of a king. And the other one is the Pati Dharma, the duty of a husband. As a husband, he is required to protect Mother Sita and not send her to the forest, notwithstanding that the citizens of Ayodhya were, talking ill of her, that she has been under the captivity of Ravan, so therefore she is not pure. So that was the genesis of the all accusations, allegations. So he's caught between the two dharma now. Now one has to win. Which one would you choose? Yeah. So, yeah, good point. So, because he has to choose between the two dharmas which are conflicting, and because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, now he is able to reconcile the two in a more amiable way. What does he do? He abandons Mother Sita, so therefore, she is out of Ayodhya, so that the allegations and the rumors can stop. 2, he provides shelter to Mother Sita under the shelter of Valmiki Muni. Unlike the first instance, when they were exiled from Ayodhya, they had to live in the forest. And that is exilement. Whereas here, she is not exiled. She is within the outskirts of Ayodhya, living in an ashram with one of the most prominent pure devotees, who happens to be the author of Ramayana, Valmiki Muni. So she is put under the, and Valmiki Muni's hermitage is also at the outskirts of Ayodhya, so it's still within the Ayodhya jurisdiction. So in one way, he is fulfilling both roles simultaneously. You save two birds with the same stone. So he saves his dharma of king by putting her away from the kingdom, because people did not, some people, out of their ignorance, did not want her to be seated as a prince of Ayodhya because of what she had to go through. So he put her aside. But then he gave her shelter as well, appropriate shelter, so that love and kush can grow in a healthy environment without the allegations that she would have otherwise had to face in Ayodhya. Now, if you see it from Mother Sita's point of view, if she was in Ayodhya, then she has to face all the allegations at no fault of her. That's not easy. Better to remove yourself. There's a difference between running away from the problem and, I forgot the phrase. Anyway, so it was safer for her to be, given her situation, biological situation, pregnant with 2 babies, it was easier for her to be removed and still yet be under the shelter of Lord Ram from a distance. So reconciliation of the two dharma, and Lord can do that. He's amazing. Yes?
Follow-up question to the same.
Yeah.
So isn't that Raj Dharma is to prove that she is not guilty rather than exciting her?
His Raj Dharma was to, so, this is another difficulty that we have, because in Raj Dharma, because of the Kali Yuga pollution at the moment, we are not able to have any resemblance to what actually it means to be the Raj Dharma. Because we are bombarded with Rajas who are cheats, polluted, corrupt, scoundrels. But Vedic times is not like that. Vedic times is very, very poor, very, very pure. The saintly kings. Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam raja rishi, Evam parampara praptam raja rishiyo vidu. I gave this knowledge to the saintly kings. They were very, very saintly. So for those kings, they had to do 2 things. 2 things were required. One, that they had to be pure, okay, which Lord Ram was and Mother Sita was. They had to be pure. Second one, which is the tougher one, and which is when he is now caught into, they had to be perceived as pure as well. There's a difference. So, for example, that he had to be pure, which is an internal situation, and that is easy for him to handle because he knows he's pure. He's Supreme Personality of Godhead, yeah? But he also had to be perceived as pure by the civilians, which is not happening now because there are 2 or 3 subjects which are making false allegations. What does he do? So, to remove the misconceptions, or the misconceptions through these perceptions, he has to act And a Raja then decides to, let her wife go, so that it's all, the sense of purity is maintained in the society. Because otherwise what would have happened, or could have happened, is that other men and women would have also, lived whichever way to say, well, the king is like this, so we are also okay like that. So then bad examples are set. So to have any sense of bad examples being set in the society, he removed her. But the main reason is Vipralamba, to enjoy that rasa of separation. And from a Leela point of view, it is more about upholding or reconciling the two dharmas together. Okay, that was a good question. Thank you so much. I'll stop here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ita Gaur Premanande.